So, what am I talking about today? I'm talking about this. This is called a Seax or wound knife. Hello there, I'm Egil Thorson, warrior, trader, runecaster and of course storyteller, and a bit of a busybody when it comes to history. So let's start from first basics. Where does the word Seax or sax come from? Sax refers to any knife. Hang on a minute, the Saxons, they were famous for these weapons, hence they were called the knife people, which translates into Saxons. Now, like most knives, there are various different sizes. The average one would probably be about this big, and this is for eating with, and you could show it at the Wappentag, or the weapon take, and this is more of a practical everyday size that your average farmer would have. Again, called a Seax, very useful tool. This is for a higher status person. This is the one you can see quite clearly on the battlefield, and here's its little cousin, again more of a tool than a weapon. This is a reenactor's one. This is actually Bragg's for everyone with his ergonomic handle, but it's also a sign of your freedom. Only freemen could carry these, and they had a various function on the farm. This could be used not only as a weapon, but you chop your vegetables with it, slaughter animals, skin them, prepare the meat. The combined sabatier of its day. And then when the men were away, the women, this is more likely to be around, as in the kitchen area, and is a very effective weapon. Let me show you the big daddy. Got one here. Here it is, a langer sack, more like a machete than anything else. And yeah, very effective weapon. Again, it doesn't use as much metal as you use in a sword. Isn't that subtle? And they're not in it for subtlety. Again, this is one of Bragg's. With his, he's into his ergonomic handles here, but you imagine facing somebody with that. It's just as effective as a sword, and you even get single-edged swords from Norway, but we'll talk about that in another video. So, a very useful weapon. It's not just a weapon, it's a tool. In fact, it's probably better to call it a tool because you're using them around the farm. You're using them to vote with, and not just a matter of going over and killing somebody. And they're made from steel. This one's mine. This is sharp, and it's made in modern steel, but you'd have had steel. It's distinctive blade shape. If you look, it's narrow, it gets wider, and then it's got like a broken back on it, a bit like a Bowie knife, only they didn't sharpen it. It's got quite an effective point. This is sharp. It's only got the one edge. People mistake these, they call them daggers. A dagger has two sharp edges. The Vikings had this. There's no cross guard on it either, so it's not really effective as a stabbing weapon, because if you stab and there's no cross guards, your hand will slide down. So it suggests more for cutting and slashing. Wooden handle. In this instance, it's capped with a bit of deer antler. That's just me being flash. This is quite a big size, and it's more for show to say, look at me, I'm a freeman, I'm a wealthy freeman. Most scrams were quite small, as you can see. Oh, here we go. Bragg's made his use again, and this, it looks fearsome. This is actually sharp. It's got a deer antler, and yeah, you can make them as fancy as you want, you can make them as plain as you want. Obviously, the wealthier you are, you want to show your wealth off. In this case, we've got a nice ring and dot pattern and a triangular and dot pattern. Could be made of cow bone in this thing, and
it's made from a cow bone.
Yeah, it's cow bone, which is sensible because you raise cattle, you milk them, you eat them, and the skeletal stuff. In fact, bone working was a trade within itself.
And that's made from a machete.
Yeah, I could believe that. That's a pretty fearsome weapon, so I'll put that down there out the way. So, to sum up, We know that Seax means knife, and the Saxons got their name from that. We know that they come in varying sizes, various tasks, from eating your food to preparing your food, defending your family, and going out on offensive expeditions, and showing that you are a free, powerful man. Hopefully we'll cover this in more detail later on. As I say, this is just a thumbnail sketch, so there's obviously a lot of stuff to cover on that. But so next time you see this distinctive shaped weapon or tool, you'll know its origins. Incidentally, this is the oldest type of blade that we know of. And you can find them all over. They're not normally as posh as this, but when I was a student, I was walking through a car park and there was a piece of metal with an angle cut on it, and I knew that was a medieval knife blade. And that's in the middle of York in the city, so they turn up everywhere. So anyway, till we meet again, and if you've got any comments, please leave them, and we'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Bye now.